Donald Trump says a liberal would be easier to deal with than Pierre Poilievre. That's right, guys. Donald Trump came out and appeared to outright endorse Mark Carney and absolutely slam Pierre Poilievre. What is going on here? Is this reverse psychology? Some sort of 4D chess? Or is this just Occam's razor? Let's get right into it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Jonny Says So. Episode 18. Pierre Poilievre is not a MAGA guy. Wow, what a strange election cycle this is shaping up to be. As if it couldn't get any stranger, Donald Trump appeared to have come out and endorsed Mark Carney. So let's get right into it, guys. This was a little clip of his appearance on Fox News with Laura Ingraham.
Much more. We have much more.
I don't think so.
Just so you understand, we subsidize Canada. And I like Canada. I love Canada. I love
but
Wayne
now
Gretzky.
the Liberal guys,
I love his wife.
The Liberal Party is going to win now in the next election, most likely. And they were down and out. Isn't that going to make them more hostile to us and possibly
I'd rather deal with a Liberal than a
for
China,
closer to Canada, and that would really put us in a bind.
The Conservative that's running is stupidly no friend of mine. I don't know him, but he said negative things. So when he says negative things, I couldn't care less. I think it's easier to deal, actually, with a Liberal. And maybe they're going to win, but I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me at all.
So your end game is what with them?
My end game is I don't want to have a big deficit. I don't want to see the United States of America, and you say 60 and I say 200, but it doesn't matter. I don't want us to pay 60 or $200 billion to a country that if they were a state, think of this, it would be our biggest, most beautiful, it would be great.
Now there's so much to get into about this clip, guys, but my main takeaway is this. For months now, the Liberals have been hammering it home that Pierre Poilievre is going to capitulate to Donald Trump and he's going to sell us down the river and sell us out at the first available opportunity. But it's quite clear from Donald Trump's tone, what he says, and his body language that he would very much prefer a Liberal government to remain in power because it is that much easier for him to try to take advantage of this country. In my opinion, at least. And Pierre Poilievre has been constantly attacked by the Liberals before the trade war about being Canada first. Because you remember, guys, just a few short months ago, before all of this trade war nonsense started, any mention of being Canada first was met with accusations of being some sort of far-right extremist or dog whistling. And now, all of a sudden, everybody wants to be Canada first. And it's gotten to the point where Mark Carney has actually canceled, or, well, more accurately, hidden the carbon tax. And this also takes away their narrative that Pierre Poilievre is maple syrup MAGA, or Timbit Trump, or whatever you want to call him, when in reality, it's Mark Carney that appears to be emulating Donald Trump. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about, guys. Do you remember when he took away, or, well, hid the carbon tax from people? Yeah, look at this. So there's Mark Carney, unelected, by the way, with Parliament prorogued. He's not supposed to be in a position where he can do stuff like this, and yet there he is, signing some sort of executive order, as if we have those in Canada, guys. Comment down below, let me know if I'm wrong, but when was the last time you've seen a Canadian Prime Minister sit down at a desk in front of the news media and sign something that the country wanted him to do, or that he wanted to do? It just doesn't happen here, guys. Now, this isn't just a tactic of Donald Trump, to be fair. This is something that American presidents have always done. Barack Obama signed at the time, historic number of executive orders. And just look at this, guys. Like, when was the last time you've seen a Canadian Prime Minister do this? It's so obvious. But hey, I guess they say, imitation is the highest form of flattery. Now, I've heard some liberal sycophants today saying that this is all some sort of reverse psychology and some sort of attempt by Donald Trump to get Pierre Poilievre elected to sow seeds of doubt about Mark Carney. And I don't think so. Look, guys, don't go around calling people conspiracy theorists and then go on about stuff like this, because you can see it in his body language and just the way he speaks about it. He genuinely does not care about Pierre Poilievre. In fact, one thing I'd like to point out to you guys is that as of last October at least, just before the election, Donald Trump did not even know who Pierre Poilievre is. Now, this one flew under the radar of a lot of people, but I remember seeing this at the time because this is just another example of, Donald Trump's long list of trolling moments against Justin Trudeau. But he was on Aiden Ross's stream just before the election back in October, and this is where he called Justin Trudeau the son of Fidel Castro. And while everybody was focused on that aspect of it, they missed something else.
Next.
Yeah. He's turned very liberal, actually. They say he's the son of Fidel Castro, and could be. I mean, anything's possible in this world, You're going to learn as you get older. You've seen a lot already for your age. Per age, I would say. Per year spent, you've seen as much as anybody. But Justin Trudeau is... I get along with him very well, actually, but he seems to be going very progressive, and the people of Canada are not liking it. I mean, if they had a good conservative person, which maybe they do, maybe they don't, I don't know, but somebody that's a strong conservative would win in Canada. Canada is very unhappy about the way they've been treated as people.
Hear what he said there, guys? If Canada had a strong conservative. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know. It seems to me, guys, that he's talking off the cuff there, and he really had no idea at that time that Pierre Poilievre was absolutely dominating in the polls. This is how little he actually paid attention to Canadian politics. But he's well aware now, isn't he? And we also have that interview that Donald Trump did with The Spectator a few weeks back, in which he said that Pierre Poilievre is not a MAGA guy.
Well, I think his biggest problem is he's not a MAGA guy, I mean, he's really not. He's not a Trump guy at all. I don't like what he's saying about me. It's just not positive about me.
Now, the left will often criticize Donald Trump for being hot-headed and very egotistical, and fair enough, that is some very valid criticism about him. So you can just tell there that he is being genuine there. He is very, very upset that Pierre Poilievre is not being positive about him. And guys, this is the hard line that Pierre Poilievre has to unfortunately walk, because any sort of insinuation that we should be negotiating with Trump is going to just completely give the liberal media ammunition that it needs to paint him as some sort of ally of Trump. So I want to point out to you guys that if anybody is playing some sort of reverse psychology or 4D chess, in my opinion, it's the liberals for painting Pierre Poilievre into this position that he cannot possibly win. Now, obviously, Pierre Poilievre was going to jump all over this and respond. So let's go check out what he had to say. Gov.exe is corrupt, putting this out on Twitter. Pierre Poilievre responds to Donald Trump, agreeing that Mark Carney will cave to the United States as he did with Brookfield's head office. That's a very good point. He claims a liberal government will weaken Canada and strengthen America. Poilievre suggests a vote for Carney is a vote for Trump.
Yesterday, the president said that having a liberal prime minister would be easier for him to deal with, just as he threatened once again to make us the 51st state. And you know what? On that point, it's true. I'm a strong leader. I'm a tough guy to deal with. I'm firm in my convictions, and I'll always put Canada first. By contrast, in 10 years, the Liberals have blocked resource projects, hiked taxes, and driven $500 billion of investment to the U.S., all while Mark Carney moved his corporate headquarters out of Canada to New York, bringing jobs to the United States of America. Mark Carney will back down, and his Liberal policies will keep Canada weak, just like Trump wants. Giving the Liberals a fourth term will only weaken our country and strengthen Donald Trump. We need a strong, tough leader who will unleash our resources, cut taxes and red tape, build homes, and make our economy less reliant on the Americans, to put Canada first.
Now, I'd like to point out that Pierre Poilievre has been consistent on this the entire time. He's been hammering this basic point for the last 2 years about how we need to be more self-sufficient. And now all of a sudden, everybody wants to do it. Anyways, guys, that's my show for tonight. I want to turn it over to you guys in the comments. What do you make of all this? Is this 4D chess? Is this reverse psychology? Or is this quite simply Donald Trump does not want to deal with Pierre Poilievre, and having somebody Canada first is a direct clash with his vision of America first? Anyways, guys, as always, please like and subscribe if you like the video. Share them out on your social media. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.